2 petty victories over finance Karen. My former employer's rulebook says they would reimburse 45p per mile if somebody with a gasoline car needs to drive to the office, but only 11p per mile to EV drivers. Even though you could argue that running costs are comparable if you factor in the higher price of an EV. So petrol car ownership is a money spinner, as most cost far less than 45p per mile to run. But with the recent increase in electricity prices, my EV now costs about 13p per mile to run if I charge it at home, or almost 25p per mile if I use a public charger. They've all been bought by oil companies who now fix the price so it's no cheaper than petrol. So no grifting profit for me. Frowning face. Finance Karen told me that's government rules, and to look it up if I didn't like it. So I did, and I found that technically my car is a hybrid, as even though it's all electric to the wheels, it has a generator which I could fill with 8 liters of petrol to recharge the battery and extend the electric range. I rarely use it, but it's a loophole I'm willing to exploit, since company rules don't mention hybrids but the holier-than-thou government rules say it's counted as a petrol car for the purposes of reimbursement. So I could drive to work for 13p per mile using only electric, but they'd have to reimburse me 45p per mile as if it were a petrol car. Government rules. There's more. When I pointed this out, Finance Karen said that because I live less than an hour from the office, I don't qualify for the reimbursement at all. And she was right. If I was traveling to work at the time of day that she Googled my address, it would take less than an hour. But if they wanted me to commute at rush hour, it would be 5 minutes over the threshold. Finance Karen rejected my expenses claim. Of course, I talked through all of this with my manager with the help of Google Maps, and he went over her head and approved it, saying they're either rules or they're not. Karen can't just bend them to suit her. So I won. A petty victory. You were technically correct. The best kind of correct. Your victory over her could be even more enjoyable if you shared your knowledge with all of your coworkers. One of my bosses thinks like petty Karen. I had to renew a certification and I emailed a cheap class to my boss asking if I should pay and be reimbursed or they would use the department credit card to pay. At the time I presented it, the class was $250. Boss asks me to provide justification in writing as to why I need said certification, and he would ask for approval from the higher-ups. 100% not needed. I submitted what he requested and it took him so long to approve taking the class with them paying via credit card that the only class one could find was $500. I literally took the class 2 days before my cert expired. If it had expired, I would have needed to take the whole course over again, which would have been $1,200. He actually told his superiors that he saved them $700 by having me recertify before it expired. Now he's mad at me because I happened to apologize to our finance director for costing us an extra $250 due to waiting so long to sign up for the class. DOF asked me to explain what I meant, so I told him about the class doubling in cost, waiting for my director's approval, etc., which is when he told me what my director told him. Lol. Did I mention no one trusts my director? It's so amusing when Karens like her act like the money being reimbursed is coming out of her pocket. It's purely a power play. In France they call this type of person a little Napoleon. There's an actual Karen from finance. https://Karen-from-finance.com/gallery. You were technically correct. The best kind of correct. Number 1.0 would proudly requisition the form to approve of your actions. You looked up the company rules. But did you look up the government rules? Finance Karen might still be getting one over on you. Rates in the 11 mile range are advisory fuel rates for company cars. These are calculated separately for various fuel types and efficiencies, but are only to cover fuel. 45 mile is the rate for driving your own car, regardless of what is fueling it and how efficient it is. So if you're driving your own car, the company is lying to you if they're saying the law forces them to pay less for electric. And if it's company cars, then the company may be breaking tax law by paying more for mileage than is allowed. Technically, you could use this to justify sleeping in late to drive to work during low peak traffic, and save the company a few p. A loophole I'm willing to exploit. Yes. Good. Technically correct is the best kind of correct, etc. My work has no way of processing EV expenses on work-related duties yet, so I just process it as a petrol car for the time being, which is still 45 per mile. Add to this the fact that I can still get charging for free at the moment. I drove to Edinburgh from Glasgow and back the other week and got reimbursed damn near £50 when it cost me nothing in fuel. It was awesome. I'm just in awe that y'all get paid to drive to work. Maybe this was wordsmithing for mostly American readers. But where are you that you call it petrol but are reimbursed based on miles? I assume the UK with the P being pence. But I thought the UK day-to-day was metric except older people. Definitely not a petty victory. That was deserved. I'll never understand why people do that. It takes more time and causes more headaches to fight with someone than it does to just help them with what they should be getting. The only time I ever did that myself is when the customer was a dick. I know it's not the correct thing to do, but damn did it feel nice to stick it to them for a moment. She's out here acting like it's her money. The worst kind of finance person. It all adds up to dollar for you and Karen being an ID10T. Technically correct, my favorite kind of correct. Okay, if you claim mileage to your nominated place of work, the one in your contract, that's a benefit you must pay tax on under HMRC rules. If you claim mileage to anywhere else, it is for the employer to set the rates of reimbursement. If it is less than HMRC rates, then you can claim back tax. If it is more, then you are liable for tax on the difference. Excellently done. FYI. The reason you get more for your own vehicle is because of the wear and tear of the car and not just to set you straight with fuel costs. You can end up needing a service more often, replacing tires, fuel changes, etc. if you are doing more mileage, and the 45p is in recognition of that. It's why company car mileage is much lower, as that is just to reimburse you for fuel costs. Although I know people with company cars who are out of pocket due to the current price hikes and their companies refuse to pay more. That's good MC. However, pretty sure companies don't have to pay 45p per mile. They can actually pay what they want. If they do pay less, not in your case, then the employee can claim the tax relief of the difference through self-assessment. LMAO at OP not understanding his car is a hybrid. And Karen didn't make the stupid rules. This isn't malicious compliance. This is OP being a nitwit.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.